Hey guys, it's time to review my very first RE kit, and that is the Gundam GP04G Gerbera. Now this, as I just mentioned, is my first kit from the RE line, although it is only the third kit in the line. So I only missed the first two, and the Nightingale I'm not really too sad about missing. The Mark III, it looks okay, and I'd like to build it maybe someday, but for now it's definitely not very high up on my list. But this one, from the moment that we knew this was coming, I was very, very much looking forward to this kit, and I just have to say it did not disappoint at all. It definitely has a couple things that are not perfect, but this kit is very, very, very good. So I would definitely, right off the bat, I can tell you, highly recommend this kit, and I think probably anyone who was already interested in this kit probably already ordered it or bought it, because this is something that I know a lot of people were really looking forward to. I think, and I hope, that Bandai is learning something from these RE releases, in that a lot of these kind of side story mobile suits and like these they're kind of a little bit more obscure mobile suits, there's definitely a market and people just foaming at the mouth to get nice kits of these mobile suits that we probably normally wouldn't get a master grade release for, possibly a high grade, but just to have this in a really, really spectacular kit, 1/100 scale, it's just really phenomenal. Definitely recommend getting this kit if you haven't already. That being said, for the future of the RE line, as I've said before in other videos, as well as just that, I'm really looking forward to what they do in the future of the RE line. The DJ I have mixed feelings about, but I'm just looking forward to where they go from there. Personally, I'm hoping that they just keep it in UC for the first 4 kits. So far it's all UC, and there's no sign of them going into any other of the centuries or any of the stories. I hope they keep it all UC, not because I'm a UC elitist, but just because there's so many awesome mobile suit designs from side stories and stuff like that that just have been out there for decades that just could use some love in the 1/100 scale. That they'll probably never get a master grade, but with how few kits are getting master grades these days, it seems like if you want some of these kits in 1/100 scale, RE is definitely going to be the way to go. And as a good buddy of mine, Justin, over at Justinius Builds, said in his review of the Gundam Mark III, if master grades are kind of going away and RE is going to be kind of the new line for 1/100 scale, I'm kind of okay with that, because my experience with this kit is just one that makes me feel like this kit has all the good points of a master grade, in that it's larger, of course, is number one. Number two is that it has a lot of great detail. Number three is that it has great posability. Now, of course, the only thing that this kit doesn't have is a full inner frame, but really, if it's got all those things, what do you really need a full inner frame for, unless you want to do something like open hatch or like a lot of like really extreme customizing? But I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing that with this kit if you really wanted to. So if Bandai is going to start doing more RE and less master grade, I'm kind of okay with that, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I would still hope that the master grade line sticks around, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure they're not going to totally phase out the master grades. I think that's not going to happen, but I definitely welcome and look forward to more RE kits in the future. Now, let's talk about this kit, because that's what you wanted to see by clicking on this video. Now, this kit, if you haven't been able to tell, I definitely love this kit. I think it's great. Just looking at the kit, I think it just looks like a master grade already, basically. I mean, it could use a couple more color apps in a few areas, but I mean, really, it's almost entirely color accurate already, and it has some really, really great apps built in that definitely wouldn't have made it into this kit if it was just an HG kit. For example, on the tops of the feet, this, you can't see it there, the little gray spot sticking out there. On the back of the legs, this blue part with the gray bits sticking out there, the gray bits sticking out on the shoulders, those are all molded parts, not stickers. So that's nice. Here on the chest, the color separation with the blue, the white, the yellow, all of that in there looks great. The blue parts on the side of the head, some great color separation there, I love it. So that's all good. I did use the stickers for this review. Here's those. There are a few that I didn't use, and that would be these 4. One I used and just ended up throwing it away, and then these 3 as well. Those go on the side of the legs. I didn't use those just because they don't really fit the space well, and they just make the kit look worse, honestly. I mean, stickers in general don't really do much to improve the look of your kit because it looks like it's just got stickers on it, but those stickers especially I thought it can definitely do without. Once again, just to mention that this kit does come with these marking decal stickers as well, but I didn't use those. I'm not planning to, and these are actually already claimed by someone, so I need to ship those out to him. But just for the review for you guys, just know that it does come with those as well. Let's take a look at some of the articulation because, as I mentioned, I think despite the fact that it doesn't have a full inner frame, it does have some really great articulation. Okay, starting off from the head, it's pretty normal. A little bit of chicken neck movement there, not a whole lot. Up is very good. I think it has some amazing articulation there and how far it's able to look up. That's great. Looking down, again, great, very far down. It's very fitting for just the style of this mobile suit, I think. So head, great there. Not a whole lot side to side, but whatever. Anyway, the waist is actually pretty nice too. Some really nice side to side motion there in the waist. That is really good. Forward and back, not really much of anything, but again, that's not bad. I mean, it's okay, whatever. I'm willing to overlook that by the fact that it has some really great side-to-side motion, which is something you don't really see in kits all that often, so that's pretty good. The shoulders have some nice movement up there. This piece, which looks like the Gatling guns on the Unicorn Gundam every time I see it, but that is able to move a little bit, not a whole lot, but something if you do want it. Arms, going to be able to come up, pretty standard there, standard rotation there, standard rotation around. Very nice movement forward. That joint is able to come out and move forward very nicely, just like a master grade. Then the elbow, very nice double joint for as much bend as you're going to possibly want out of that. Again, very good, just like a master grade. And then the wrists are just on ball joints. Oops, there goes that. That's the first time this has happened, but I guess it's a good thing it happened on camera, just so you guys know that it can come disattached. The legs are pretty heavy, so I can see if you're holding it by the top half that might come apart like it just did, because the legs are a little bit heavy, but otherwise I don't think that would ever be an issue. Anyway, back to the wrists. The wrists are just kind of normal movement there, nothing really out of the ordinary. The front skirts move separately, and just basically just rotate like that. There is some detail underneath, but you're probably better off doing some modding and adding your own detail there. Side skirts as well is pretty standard. They just plug in via a ball joint into a polycap, although it just popped off. It does move around just fine. There goes the arm. I'm making it look like this kit falls apart quite a bit, but that's just because I'm kind of rushing through this because I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about the articulation. And then for the back skirt, we do get some up and down movement there, which is something that we don't actually normally see in high grades, so that's pretty cool. It's a little bit unique there. Then the legs, as I said before, the legs are pretty heavy because I guess just because of the plastic and some scuff, some dirty scuff on my plastic there. It's okay. But some nice articulation here. They rotate very well and the move out and forward and back, pretty normal. The knee, get a very nice double joint there, some really nice band, works very well. Then the ankles, just a pretty standard ankle, but standard but good, side to side, forward and back. The foot, you're not getting any bend in the toe, sadly, but it's going to go down about that far, and of course the ankle armor is going to move back and forth. Now that pretty much does it for the articulation. One thing I didn't mention and in the unboxing was that on the polycaps do have a little bit of a ratchet system in the polycaps, so it does work pretty well. I think to keep the movement, well, how do I want to say, like stiff enough, I guess is the right word, but yeah, so that's pretty good. One thing I guess I should also mention too is that there's the stickers on the eyes and the front camera and the back camera. I like the antenna on the head. It definitely makes the head look even more unique. And then there's one of the stickers there on the crotch piece. Now why don't we take a look at its accessories and backpack and get that on, because right now it's looking I mean, aside from those giant shoulders, it's looking a little bit plain, or it's definitely lacking something, so let's take a look at that stuff. Alright, so our first thing is this backpack. Very large backpack with the 3 fuel tanks, the 2 going up and 1 going down. The one going down does have this extra foot on there, and if you want to use that in a standing position, if you don't, you can just take out that piece and then just put this white piece on the bottom. Just cover it up like that if you wanted to have it in a flying position, but we're going to keep it standing, so I want to keep that piece on. It's pretty simple and effective, I think. These gray parts on there, those are the stickers. You would have to paint those, otherwise these are all white. They're pretty much just 2 pieces sandwiched together for each of those. These parts on the backpack are able to come up and move around. Those hold your beam saber handles, so those will fold out like that. And then it uses those pegs are what peg into the hand, but they also peg into there to keep them secure, and then these just fold down and kind of attach kind of loosely, but a little bit attach onto these larger fuel tanks. Now, they don't really do anything to help support the fuel tanks. I mean, the fuel tanks will stay up regardless, so those are nice and secure, but then those just look nice when they're attached onto there. A couple more green stickers on the front of here. Pegs onto the backpack. Pegs onto the back of the Gundam pretty simply, like so. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. And then it's good to stand just fine like that. But of course, this is going to be taking up a lot of shelf space with such a long and large backpack like that. But it definitely adds to the look of the kit. I mean, without that backpack, the kit was looking like it was missing something. Now it definitely looks complete, and those huge shoulders don't look so out of place on it now. They definitely look like they fit in with the look of it with those really, really long fuel tanks. So for the other accessories, we do have the action base connector, which is the same kind of action base connector that we had with the new high-grade Zaku 2 from the Origin. It's a very similar kind of shape, although this one is of course a little bit larger. The one for that Zaku kit definitely held it a lot better than the old style crotch grabber piece. This one definitely, I think, will probably hold this one better as well. I haven't tested it yet, but we'll try it here in just a minute when I'm finished going over the accessories. Here's the shield. I really, really like this shield. It's very large and has a really nice shape to it, symmetrical there on the front. And just some really subtle but nice details. Just a couple of these marks here, like that. Just only a couple pieces on the back. Some pretty nice detail as well. There's a space to just plug in 2 extra E-caps for the beam rifles. And then the handle, I believe you should be able to close the hand around this handle, I think, but you're probably just going to want to use this to plug it onto the arm. So this part is the part that plugs into the back of the arm. Then you can choose to mount the shield either on the back or on the side of the arm. I don't really know why anyone would want the shield on the back of the arm, but just in case you do, you can do that, but you probably want the shield on the side of the arm because it looks a lot better. Then it just plugs into the back of the arm on either arm, so you can choose, but traditionally it's going on the left arm. So that just plugs onto there. Very easy and no weight problems at all. Let's try holding it up. And yeah, thanks to those ratcheted polycaps, it does handle the weight very well. Of course, the shield doesn't weigh a whole lot, but it definitely has no problems holding that. Now, the next thing we have, well, I guess we do have one extra E-cap that you can't really use for anything, but might as well just keep it around. You can use it for some other custom or something like that, and there's nowhere else to plug it in on this kit. Just had an extra one, but there's that. Then we have hands. On the kit, I got the 2 closed hands. Then we also get 2 holding hands. Now, these are what you're going to use for the weapons. There's no trigger finger, sadly, but they do look really nice. The detail on these hands is really great. That is something worth pointing out, is how nice the detail is on the hands. So those are definitely very, very nice, very good, I think. So that's definitely a plus. But like I said, you only get closed fists and holding hands, no exact trigger fingers, and no open hands. Open hands would have been nice, or at least maybe one open hand, but sadly we're not getting any, but we have our 2 holding hands there. Then we have our standard beam rifle. Now this I actually really quite like. Of course, the main draw of this kit is probably going to be the long rifle, but this standard beam rifle is actually really quite nice. I do like it quite a bit. Now we have holding hands for both hands, but this beam rifle, as you can see, only has a peg for plugging into the right hand. So although we have a holding hand for the left hand, you're only going to be able to use this in the right hand. So you just need to open that up, and then the female side of that plug is there. Just plug it in, and the peg is very secure. I feel like it's very long, so you do want to be a little bit careful that you don't break it off accidentally, but it's very secure. I like the look of this beam rifle a lot. It's only 3 parts, 2 sides sandwiched together, and then the barrel piece is 1 piece. But I like it. I like the simplicity of it. The look of it is good. It's unique in the shape and everything, so I actually really like this quite a bit. And just the weight of it is good too, because the one thing that's wrong with the long rifle that I'll get to in a minute is because it's such a long back end, it's sometimes a little bit harder to pose it. But with this, of course, you're not going to have any problems posing this at all in any sort of pose that you might want. Now, of course, this is pretty simple and basic, but anyway, you get the idea. So that is that. And then, of course, before we get to the long rifle, we do have these as well, which are just our standard beam saber effect parts for the beam saber handles that are stored in the backpack. And finally, as if the unique parts of the kit, like the shoulders and the legs, the long fuel tanks out the back, as if that wasn't enough to sell you on the uniqueness and just the really awesome looks of this kit, we have the long rifle. So this thing is really cool. I really like this. This was definitely a big selling point for me, just for being hooked into buying this kit. I really like the size of it. It's really good, as you can see, compared to the model kit itself. It stands just a little bit taller than the Gundam, so it's not obnoxiously huge, but it's definitely big enough that you can get a size of power for it. And then it's got just a really unique design. I like this little bit here at the end. That's really cool. I like just the shape of the back part, and of course there's another E-cap, just plugs onto there. I like the fact that it's got 3 different handles. That's really cool, and each of the handles has a plug. So let's see, this handle, which rotates around that much, it's only blocked by this cord on the side, and that's worth noting as well. This is a really cool detail part. This energy cable here on the side is just 1 piece, but it looks really cool. This handle underneath, the front handle, goes side to side, and that's for attaching the left hand, whereas the other 2 handles are for attaching the right hand. So this handle on the top you can put on the outside like that, and then this one on the side like that. You can get the right hand here, left hand here for some really nice shooting. The main handle doesn't move at all, but that's okay. You wouldn't really want it to. And then the sight does rotate a little bit, just around about 90 degrees around the barrel there. It's blocked at the bottom by the lower handle, and at the top by the kind of whatever you would call that, not really handle I guess, but that part on the top. But yeah, just some really nice looks here going on. Of course there's going to be a steam line down the top, but it is hidden pretty well. The molding is really nice, so it should be very easy to wipe out. You might not even need to use putty there, just some glue and sanding and you'd be good to go. Some other areas you might need a little bit of putty, but otherwise this is a really awesome weapon. And it does have one more feature. It has this beam effect part that just plugs on to the underside. So similar to the GP01, and I believe the GP03 had it as well. Is that right? I don't remember, but it has that really cool feature there, so that's definitely really awesome. This is a kind of weapon that can make you want to buy a kit just for the weapon, so I definitely like this. But as I mentioned before, the one problem is because of such a long back end on it, it is a little bit hard to pose it. You have to get it like moved around in just the right way, either under the arm or using the secondary handles. But with the 3 different handles, you definitely have a lot of options of how you want to do it, so that's the nice thing about it. But I definitely am totally into this gun. It's a really awesome one, so let's go ahead and use that handle, and then we need to do a little bit of work here. Give me a second. Alright, so it took a little bit of work there for a minute, but finally got it just right. Had to refer to the manual as well, and I think you're probably off, if you want to do a pose like this, you're probably better off just keeping this hand on the standard handle and keeping the extra back handle just rotated up out of the way, because you really don't need to use that back handle for a pose like this. But this would also probably be a good time to put it up on the action base, because I think that's probably gonna look a lot better in some aerial poses. So let me just get that out. Alright, so yeah, up on action base, I think it's safe to say that's definitely looking a heck of a lot better. Like I said, that big rifle can be a little bit hard to pose, as I'm trying to keep it from running into the back of my black cloth there. But anyway, it still looks really, really good, and you just have to work it a little bit to get it into the right pose. Now, I also don't have the shield on there. I could put the shield on the arm as well, but anyway, you guys get the idea. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this kit. I think if you couldn't tell by now in this point in the review that I'm definitely really enjoyed building this kit, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who's interested. It's got a lot of things going on that are really, really unique. The price tag is not that much, first of all, so that's good. It has a ton of really, really awesome detail. Just to stop it from going around, just to point this out. For example, these small details like these here on the side of the leg, and there are others more all around the kit, but those are the kind of details that like a lot of professionals will go in and add to kits like this. But it's so awesome that like we have those kind of details like already molded in. Of course, there's still plenty of space where you could go in and add more of your own as well, but it just shows that like they're really doing their best to make the models in this RE line as close to master grade as they can without making them actually full inner frame master grade kits. So that's really awesome, and I think it works really well. The articulation is really nice, and I think not having an inner frame, it could be good sometimes, because sometimes the inner frame can be like the Achilles heel for some kits, because their inner frame has some areas where it just can't hold the weight of the kit. So I think this kit is very sturdy, as you've seen in some parts of the review, like some parts fall off or something like that, arm falls off or something. But I mean, that's really only because I'm doing the review. If any of you guys have ever tried filming a review on camera where you're having to reach around the camera like this and trying to do everything quickly and smoothly, it doesn't always work very well. But when you're just working like just by yourself posing the kit, it works perfectly well. And just I think this kit is really great also just because of the design, the aesthetic of it, and that's just due to the original design. It's very, very unique. The shoulders, the legs are very reminiscent of the last year release of the high grade, the Hi-Nu Gundam, the master grade Hi-Nu Ver-Ka. How it has the very kind of bulky calves like that it has a very similar shape there with the bulky calves and the vents in the front. So I liked that about that kit, and I definitely like it on this kit as well. So those legs are very reminiscent of that in that way. But yeah, the backpack, this part of the backpack is simple, but these very long fuel tanks there are super unique. Just definitely make the Gundam look like it's something really unique. Anyway, it's going to stand out. And about the colors, of course it's mostly white, which is not all that exciting, but I like how they've taken how it has all the standard Gundam colors of being mostly white, then with red, yellow, and blue, but I like how they've made it mostly blue, so that is going to make this kit stand out from your other Gundam kits that are following the same kind of color scheme. This one is going to be mostly blue, where other ones are usually focused in either, I don't know, some other color, or the colors are more evenly mixed. This one being primarily blue, with just a few yellow color apps and very few red. It's definitely unique enough to set it apart from the other ones. So that is about it for this review, guys. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, let me know in the comments below, or if you have any other questions, definitely let me know there too. One thing I guess I didn't really talk much about was seam lines, but that's probably because there just weren't very many of them. The majority of them are either pretty basic, very easy to wipe out, like on the rifle and the fuel tanks, but most of the seam lines on the actual kit itself are either hidden as panel lines, or they're pretty easy to get rid of, so not a whole lot to worry about with that. And that pretty much does it, guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for leaving your questions and comments and whatever in the section below. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.